like to call to order this town council work session to order. Tuesday, July 16th, 2024, town council work session to order. May I have a roll call, please, ma'am?
Mr. East?
Here.
Mr. Clark?
Here.
Mr. Dawson? Mr. Ratliff? Mr. Klontz?
Here.
Mr. Reese? Mayor Collins?
Here. All right, so to get this started, we'll start with case number 24-ZA-1 and 24-ZA-2, amending sections 11.2, town's definition of hospital, and remove hospital or health center from as a use from 5 sections of the code. If you would like.
This is the same issue, by the way, that y'all looked at a couple of meetings ago. So what we'd like to do to try to get things to flow a little smoother is have these work sessions on issues where council support is going to be needed for a public hearing. And the idea is to get council support, and then when the public comes, we have a public hearing and allow them time to speak on the ordinance. It's kind of, to me, getting used to the elected body not agreeing on a public hearing and having a public hearing at the same time kind of seems a little, but we'll work on it as we go. But just want to let you know this is the same discussion. So.
And I think it was tabled, correct? So we
Yes.
do need to untable it.
Okay. What do I need to do that? Do I need a?
Someone needs to make a motion.
Motion,
Make a
yeah.
motion.
So will someone do that?
You want me to? I move that we untable case number 24-ZA-1 and 24ZA-2.
Second.
And may I have a roll call for that, please?
Mr. East?
Aye.
Mr. Clark?
Aye.
Mr. Klontz?
Aye.
And Mayor Collins?
Aye.
So as we had discussed before, there are a number of zones which are currently, the primary bone of contention the last time was whether it made sense or not to keep single-family residential, which is currently where you can have a hospital as part of our current zoning ordinances, whether that still made sense to keep that there. It is where our existing hospital is, so if we were to eliminate that from the zoning ordinance, it would also mean that our current hospital would not be able to expand should they need to, which could pose problems in the future. And then in addition, the Planning Commission, in looking at some of the activities that they think are likely to occur in the remote likelihood that we did get another hospital in the area, or inpatient medical clinic of some sort, would be, it make more sense because of land availability and how our roads are constructed in the town to be in B1 and B2 as well as R1 zoning. And so they're recommending removal of central business district, rural residential, two-family residential, and multi-family residential zones as an allowable use through special exceptions still.
I think at the last meeting, y'all almost came to a conclusion, but it was after about 30 minutes of that, it was a little. So do any of you have any questions for Summer about that?
So this is in regard to, so we're going to change. Could you just kind of highlight again what we're doing here?
Sure. So
I
we
get my head
are,
around it.
the reason for the changes is, this is section 2. The first section is actually amending the hospital definition. It's simplifying the language, but it's also adding the substance abuse disorder clinics into a place in our zoning, so it would be an acceptable accessory use for hospitals. And that gives us some legal cover in terms of if we have something that would fall under that definition coming into the town, we can say, no, sorry, this is only allowed by special exception as an accessory use to a hospital. And so that was one of the driving reasons for that definition change, as well as the fact that the current definition of hospital is a paragraph long and is putting a whole bunch of terminology out there that is not well defined and becomes very nebulous when you're trying to determine whether something is or not fit within whether it does or not fit within that use. And then in that good zoning practice, if you change a use, you reevaluate where it goes in town. Does it still make sense based on the changes that we've made and looking at the current landscape of the town and the districts that you have in place?
So the goal is to essentially tighten things up.
Tighten things up, exactly.
Any other questions?
And we-
How many, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. You're
How
good.
many areas do we have now since you tightened things up?
We're proposing 3 areas. Currently, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 7 areas that are basically, you can put a hospital anywhere in town except for industrial zones. And we're tightening that down to about 3, in part because of land area, in part because of arterial road access, and in part because of type of use, concern for if we were to have another major health crisis like COVID-19, keeping it out of residential areas maybe help prevent infection or spread. And also the assumption, given the trends in Southwest Virginia, that there is probably going to be a fair amount of helicopter traffic that will be associated with our hospital in the near future, as regional hospitals shut down around the area.
What are those 3 areas?
That is going to be R1, which is rural residential. I'm sorry, not rural residential, single-family residential, B1 and B2, which is your limited business district and your general business district, which primarily you see along Main Street and up towards, like you're going towards New Bern.
Okay.
Any other questions before we move on? No. All right.
Do we need to vote to move it?
Public hearing.
Yeah. If someone would like to make a motion, then we can move it to the public hearing for August 6th.
I move we make case number 24ZA1 and 24ZA2 to public hearing on August 6th.
Second.
We still have to address, our ZA1, we're still going to review that, is that correct? Or did that address, that did address
That's-
everything? Okay,
Yeah.
I'm good. Thank you.
May I have a roll call for that, please?
Mr. East?
Aye.
Mr. Clark?
Aye.
Mr. Klontz?
Aye.
And Mayor Collins?
Aye. All right, the next one is case number 24-SE-002, special exception for 929 New Bern Road.
So the Planning Commission received an application for a special exception to a property on New Bern. As you can see in the staff report, it is a small area of B1 zoned, which is limited business zoning, surrounded by high-density residential. This area, and the parcel in question is highlighted by the black flag on the zone. The area in question is, the applicant is wanting to rent the space out to someone who is starting an event venue. And given that that area character is primarily residential, even though it is zoned B1, is presented some questions with the Planning Commission. They are recommending that you approve with conditions The application and the conditions are as follows, that hours be limited to 9 a.m. to 8:30 p.m., and that no amplification of sound shall be allowed outside the structure, nor strobe style or flashing lights be allowed outside the structure as well. And those are the primary conditions to protect the surrounding residential neighbors. Given that this parcel is consistent with the comprehensive plan and the use is consistent with the comprehensive plan and the town zoning.
The current use and the projected,
And the projected use, yes.
Did we contact the adjacent homeowners?
We did. That is part of the public hearing process.
So this was used to be the hair salon there.
Yes.
And it's not been in business for
For quite a
a
while.
while? Okay.
So you will be notifying the adjoining neighbors, or you have already?
We did already with
Oh.
the planning commission.
So
Public,
that they will be able to come to
absolutely.
if they have opposition.
Do you, well, I guess we can address that in the public session. I just didn't know what feedback, if any, you had at this point.
I had one person call just to get clarification about the letter that they received, and they said they had no opinion one way or the other. I have a gentleman who's a nearby property owner who is on the commission. He was our nay vote. But otherwise, we did not have any members of the public show up at the public hearing, and I got no other comment asking or inquiries in my office.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
Did the planning commission have a public hearing on
Yes.
that? So that's what so will you have to re-advertise?
I will have to re-advertise.
You'll have to notify again?
I would need to double check that. I don't believe I
Okay.
need to send out public notice. Yes, I will have to send out public notice again, yeah.
Okay.
If there's no other questions, if someone would like to make a motion to move this to the public hearing on August 6th also.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we move case number 24SC002 to a public hearing on
August 6th.
August 6th.
Second.
May I have a roll call for that, please?
Mr. East?
Aye.
Mr. Clark?
Aye.
Mr. Klontz?
Aye.
Mayor Collins?
Aye. All right, well, with that, there's nothing else
I
on
would have
this,
never thought that.
nothing on this agenda, so I'm gonna adjourn this one.
Well, let's go to dinner, we come back.
Sorry, I thought that hospital one was.
Jackie, have you got us off?
Let's go with
Okay.
order.